Here's a little update of the garden after I set some goals in a past video, and I will link that below, and where I've gotten so far. For anybody new, I'm in East Texas and we are a zone 8B. So all I have to do is add it here and tack it in with the nail gun there. I already cut these beds. Most of them are 8 by 2 feet wide. One of my goals was to make these beds taller to help my back out and to keep the rabbits out. Despite having rabbit fencing, I still have rabbits. I don't know when the devil feeds on me. It always does that to me and not to Derek. Follow for more fashion tips. Alright, it is December 15th, which is why I'm in shorts and a t-shirt today. If you haven't seen my videos before, I planted a whole fall garden and the rabbits came through and ate every last one of the tops of everything but the Swiss chard. So I don't know what that says about Swiss chard, but I use it in place of spinach. And that is because my spinach is about this big right now. Actually, this was back in December, so now it's a little bit bigger, but it really won't take off till spring when there's more light and a little bit more heat. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest all of this Swiss chard and have it processed and ready for the freezer to make anything. Last year my spinach harvest was not great. This year it's actually growing. But the Swiss chard always does good for me. So, yay Swiss chard. Plus it looks really pretty when you get the rainbow mix. I have some red, crimson red, and then I have some yellow. I mean, you take the stems off to eat it, but it still looks pretty. When I got home, I rinsed it off real well in the sink, and then I put it in boiling water for about 5 minutes. Took it out and put it on tea towels and tried to wring out as much of the water as I could, and then I put them in freezer Ziploc bags and put them in the freezer. One of my goals for spring was to get this mulch that's been here a few years and it's breaking down and making a perfect place for all these weeds shoveled up and replaced. I probably won't replace it by spring, but definitely before summer because this weed fabric gets too hot in Texas and burns some of my plants. So I just shoveled this up and I thought it would be a whole lot easier than it was. I thought this shovel was just gonna slide across the weed fabric. And I just took it over to the fence and dumped it into the sheep pen, which actually has worked out perfectly because the sheep pen gets so muddy in the rain. And don't let these sheep fool you. During the day they can come out of their pen while we're there and eat all the grass they want. I also gave some of it to the chickens for some fresh green eatings and they loved it. I have done already. And then those 2 gaps. So 1, 2, 3, and now 4. I'll get that one done and then I'll start on that side. And I think for all this, I'll probably pull it all by hand. So that'll be fun. I have to stop. Now after pulling weeds for so many years, you get to know your weeds. And this is not a weed. this is a Texas blue bonnet. So I'm gonna try to get this transplanted into the bed where I had them. Okay, I'm gonna go around it and then underneath it. Gently, gently. Yes, look at that root too. With it being so wet, it should transplant pretty nicely. These usually come out on the highways in early spring. And we have Lady Bird Johnson, the First Lady of LBJ, to thank for that. They spray wildflowers on the highways here in Texas. These went through that freeze. It's a pretty good size. Here's our harvest from today. If you're watching the Pantry Challenge, you will see these beets again. If you're not watching the Pantry Challenge, where have you been? You need to subscribe so you don't miss them. They're out on Wednesdays. Well, instead of finishing my garden goals, I just added on to them, you know. So we've gotten a few more of the beds done. I'll show you those. So all the ones except for that last one, and we don't have the ends on this one or that last one over there, but these are done. I made a video on how to make these, and then I decided not to post it because the wind blew them over, so it's not a good way to do it. That one's done, so we just have this one. The new stuff is I'd like to make this space into an 8-foot bed, just like the rest of them, and get rid of these tall posts because they lean no matter how many screws and nails I've put in there, and this tree is kind of in the way. So I'd like to replace this one with another 8-foot bed, and then either keep my flowers in there or plant the flowers on the borders like I wanted to. And then this one will go over where the asparagus was and take that spot. I think that'll work out. These will be disassembled and I'll use it for the sides of my longer beds. And I finished, for the most part, scooping up all the old mulch. I was able to use some of it. I just need to get the liners and these, and I can start filling these up with more mulch I have on the edges. Also, it is not too late right now, but I have already started my summer seedlings. Even though I have cabbage right here, I was trying something. I don't think it's gonna work out in my climate to grow a spring brassica. Here in zone 8B, we don't have the time before it gets hot to grow a brassica in the spring. I got tomatoes back here, some peppers. I'm trying some herbs in here. We'll see if the rosemary comes up. If it doesn't, then I'll just buy one, that's fine. But sugar rush peaches come up really well. Those are some jalapenos in there too. I have tried on the lettuce here as seedlings, and I think they do better direct sown. I think some of my seed is kind of old too, so we'll give it some more time. I have entire videos on starting seedlings, so I will link that below because I'm not going to do it again this year. My milkweed and marigolds are going for it. And I have one little hollyhock right there. Thanks for watching. Make sure and subscribe so you can see what the garden looks like in the future. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. I upload most Sundays, and you can keep watching us grow our farm. Have a good one.